design and commercial refrigeration focuses on decreasing the environmental risks posed by cooling systems and considers the impact of the entire system, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So how do we know if a system is sustainable? How do we evaluate it? Since sustainability is holistic, it does not have a particular unit of measurement. The refrigeration industry still must do its best to regulate the impact of equipment on the world around us. So we have guidelines that help us gain a more comprehensive view of our actions and point us in the right direction. These guidelines can have titles like TEWI, or Total Equivalent Warming Impact, or LCCP, Life Cycle Climate Performance. And both metrics work to give us an idea of the impact our machines produce. Across industries, the equipment we use have direct and indirect impacts on the environment. So let's break this down. Direct impacts might include using oils or fuels in a system and what happens when these enter the environment. For example, people think of the types of fluids or refrigerants used in the cooling industry and their contribution as greenhouse gases. These can enter the environment through the operation, maintenance, and disposal of equipment, directly impacting the world around us. But we can't stop here. Sustainable refrigeration design must look at the big picture and consider the effects of a system over the equipment's entire life. How were the parts made? How are the fuels produced? So, guidelines also help us ask questions about the indirect impacts of the systems we use. An example would be the CO2 emissions from burning fossil fuels to generate the electricity needed to run the equipment. Guidelines consider things like what happens in the environment when we produce the things we need for our systems. Did we use natural resources? What emissions occur during the shipments of our parts? Or considering chemicals. We can't just look at the global warming potential of refrigerants after they enter the environment. We need to also look at the impacts of production processes to create the refrigerants in order to properly assess our carbon footprint. The metrics we use to measure the environmental impacts of refrigeration are only valid if we consider every aspect in the life of a system. True sustainable refrigeration design reduces the direct and indirect environmental impacts of cooling and uses guidelines correctly by considering all aspects of a system through its entire life cycle. We know how to create sustainable cooling for a better tomorrow. Visit oxfordenergy.ca to find out how, and let's make tomorrow today.